Round of applause, Rachel.
So I might have to read a bit and ad-lib a bit, but we'll be fine. So thanks for Tom and Alex for inviting me. It's good to be here. So I'm head of Goldsmiths Digital Studios, which is located in Goldsmiths University. It's part of Goldsmiths Computing. I'm also a digital art curator and writer, so that's me. Let's do this. So I'm not sure how much time we've got. I know that we've got a few up, so I think I might just jump straight in. I do have some opinions on where we're at with AI and the wider creative industries, but maybe we'll start with looking at my area of, I guess, specialism, which is the art world. I'm just going to focus on a group of artists who are using machine learning and neural networks to provoke questions around AI itself, so maybe taking a more critical look at what AI is and its implications to creative processes. So I thought I'd start by looking at where AI-driven work fits into recent aesthetic trends and artistic practice. So back in 2009, we've got the advent of post-internet art, which looks like this. This is basically the physical rendering of the virtual online world by artists and a pushback against the digitization of everything. Then in 2011, artist and theorist James Bridle, who I'll be speaking about in more detail later, coined the term the new aesthetic. You can see some examples here. This is more of an alliance between human and machine and reflects on how we are creating our world in tandem with the computational process we use in everyday life. Glitch art came next. This is both an aesthetic trend and a way of exposing and critiquing the computational systems at play, commenting on surveillance society and modes of state control, etc. And then you have today's GAN artists using AI and neural networks to generate or auto-generate works of art. You can see a few examples here, and I know that you had Luba in speaking about this in previous sessions. So I guess this evening I want to move away from that, from aesthetic trends, and talk about some work that perhaps explores the potential of machine learning and neural networks in a different way. So coming back to James Bridle, who I mentioned in relation to the new aesthetic. At the top you can see his work Cloud Index. It's a work of 2016. So in this work he set out to explore some of the history and implications of machine intelligence. That is the intelligence of machines and the intelligence of humans who think we can think like machines. Talking about taking up almost 10 years of atmospheric cloud data and 10 years of polling data, he developed a neural network for predicting the weather based on political events, or perhaps vice versa. Bridle proposed that by using such forecasts to direct weather modification technologies, such as cloud seeding and solar radiation management, he might redirect political will. While the work appears to take at face value the claims of big data and machine learning, that all input suitably quantified might be processed to predict and thus control future outcomes, the result that it points to is an uncertain one. The cloud is cloudy, and no amount of impenetrable computation will render it clearly. The second work, bottom left, bottom right, is his most recent piece called Autonomous Trap. This is a still from a video of a driverless car trapped inside a double circle of road markings made with salt. Bridle developed a simple neural network and approximation of driverless software so his car could read the road ahead, keep to its lane, react to other vehicles and turnings, but in a very limited way. The vehicle is unable to make sense of the conflicting information it sees when encountering the circle, and barely moves back and forth as if under the spell of a mysterious force. The work demonstrates the limitation of machine perception, and the artist is illustrating the limits of knowledge without context, an issue we'll be coming back to a lot, I would imagine, in the age of AI. So the second artist I want to talk about is sound artist and performer Marco Donnarumma. Marco uses biomedical and sound technologies, computer software, actuators, sensors and transducers to create ways in which human bodies and machines can extend, transform and disrupt each other.
Rachel,
Yes?
are you on drugs? But the mic's gone off. Can you just shout out?
It's the batteries.
Should I just talk?
Just go. Yeah. It's getting a bit quiet over here. So sorry, it's my fault, not yours.
You're going to have a little drink.
There's some more there. Again.
Sorry. So we're talking about Marco's work. So this is called Corpus Nil. And the artist says, human bodies and identities are continuously categorized online and offline by artificially intelligent algorithms and machines. But if, by contrast, artificial intelligence could be used to contaminate human bodily experience, what would happen? How does a body defiled by algorithms look and move? So depending on the tension and posture of the artist's body, an artificially intelligent algorithm modifies the light and sound on stage, creating what the artist calls a choreography between the performer's body and the AI machine. The second work you can see here, bottom left, bottom right, is called Amygdala, an AI-generated robot in the form of an uncanny human-like limb hung up in an industrial-grade computer server. Amygdala uses a knife to manipulate and sculpt a large piece of synthetic skin. Its labour is repetitive, careful and never-ending. The robot's only aim is to learn a virtual ritual of purification known as skin cutting, a ritual across Papua New Guinea, Africa and Eastern Asia. Rituals of purification and AI technology share the politics of social categorization, access and influence. The robot is driven by a type of adaptive neural network which initiates and imitates the sensor motor system of animals, meaning that the movement from the robot is not pre-programmed but instead emerges spontaneously from the activity of the neural networks themselves. Because the neural networks receive sensory information from the robot's body in real time, the robot can adapt to any physical change or constraint in its environment. As a result, the robot is capable of a markedly organic, interactive and responsive behaviour recalling animals' movements. So moving on to the artist Guy Ben-Ari. He's a scientist based in Australia working within cybernetics and biotechnology to question the boundaries between humanity, conscious intelligence and technology. Ben-Ari developed a neural network from his own skin cells for his work Self. See what he's doing there? Which you can see here via the so-called induced pluripotent stem cell method. He grew a little brain in a petri dish connected up with electrodes so that the brain activity could be observed and stimulated. Ben-Ari connected his mini brain to a modular synthesizer and then improvised with a jazz musician, creating a biomusical circuit that destabilizes the concepts of consciousness, reaction and improvisation. That's him. Yeah, it's going to happen. So Trevor Paglin's another artist disrupting traditional uses of AI and has been working with machine vision, surveillance and AI for a number of years. In his performance Sight Machine, Paglin combines image making and artificial intelligence technology. Made in collaboration with creative studio Obscura Digital and the Grammy-winning Kronos Quartet, Sight Machine pairs manufacturing, surveillance and face recognition technology with classical American blues and African folk music. Whilst the string quartet plays live, Paglin's own AI mapping system projects machine-generated images of the musicians behind them in real time. Paglin programmed code like surveillance AI algorithms which process a live video feed of the performance to create images of what a particular algorithm is seeing, in this case the musician's movements. The AIs, whether for gender recognition, object identification or mood detection are designed to communicate with their machine counterparts, not to provide human readable output. So it was never designed for human consumption. Paglin wanted to show the audience how the machine sees, saying, I wanted to make an artwork that really underlined the contradiction between how machines see and how humans see. Peglin's piece is no awestruck homage to the capabilities of technology, however, as he says, there's a profound shift happening in visual culture, which has to do with the fact that most images nowadays are primarily made by machines for other machines. I think as the audience experiences the overall piece, they'll get the sense that the machine vision and AI systems that are watching the same performance are experiencing something entirely different than the humans are. By pointing out this discrepancy, I want to plant some doubts about the exuberance I see around me over an increasingly automated society. So another artist exploring AI limits and ethical boundaries is sound artist and musician and producer Holly Herndon. She is growing an AI baby called Spawn. Holly is training the AI on her voice and record training so that she will be able to pull harmonic information from its memory to create new work. She is doing this to raise questions for her and a team around what it would mean to own a voice, and what a truly autonomous creative AI would mean for her work and the music industry at large. I think she's about to release it, actually. It's still in progress. Scary. So other artists such as Ian Cheng use AI to create simulations. Here you can see images from the series MS3 Sunsets itself, an open-ended digital simulation powered by machine learning. Chen is best known for his digital simulation works and draw on his background in cognitive science and his research into artificial intelligence. I don't know if anybody caught his show at the Serpentine. It was on a few months ago. Yeah. So coding unpredictable animated worlds from the ground up, he uses the language of video games to probe complex themes such as evolution, human behaviour, and the history of consciousness. The key feature of this work is that he has populated his scenes with foliage and figures who twitch and fight and feed each other in real time, with no predetermined outcomes, an endless unspooling of artificial intelligence in beta mode. How are we doing for time?
Doing great. You
Keep going.
How are you doing? You're
Got two more artists.
very take your time. Good.
So this good. So this is artist writer Ross Goodwin, and he's held a number of positions, including White House ghostwriter for the Obama administration, computer hacker, data scientist, app founder, and most recently co-creator of the first films created in conjunction with artificial intelligence, Sunspring and It's No Game. Using machine learning and natural language processing, Goodwin creates new forms and interfaces for written language. One of these projects is a website application, Word.camera, bottom left and right, which allows users to upload images that are fed through an algorithm that determines concepts and objects present in the image before a text passage is produced. His recent work, Wordcar, Top, is an extension of this process of narrated reality, sponsored by Google's Artist and Machine Intelligence program. During this project, he drove a Cadillac XTS from Brooklyn to New Orleans with a number of different passengers joining him at different intervals. He outfitted the car with a pan-tilt zoom surveillance camera on the trunk that could look in 4 different directions at once, and a GPS unit connected to an onboard database of location names, and his laptop, which used its microphone to record conversation inside the car, and its clock to record every moment. These elements, combined with AI neural networks, were trained to write poetry and prose, generated an automatic narration of their entire journey. This narration was printed out in real time on a wide format thermal printer, resulting in 11 scrolls by the end of the trip. Okay, I'm going to finish with Jonas Lund. In this work, Jonas looks for a formula to produce perfect market-ready works of art using the network effect of the AI hype cycle, questioning the value of the algorithm and exposing their biases. As an artist, Lund seeks to demystify and simultaneously embrace his ambiguous position in the art market. In his work, Talk to Me, which you can't really see, but bottom left, Lund has designed a conversational chatbot. He trained the chatbot on all of his digital message and social media platforms using a sequence-to-sequence neural network in order to retain the state of the text, basically allowing the bot to talk like him. He created a responsive text-to-speech website, and the bot acts as a customer service support as well as being a parody of the function of mass self-communication in advertising and marketing. His painting series, New Now, which you can see on the right side and top left, no, both on the right-hand side actually, was developed using machine learning to train a neural network on all of his previous works. So it's both a way to optimise his practice and also dictate what pieces he will make next. The artificial intelligence created by the artist becomes the artist. This project speaks to the data-driven optimisation of targeted marketing and the ways in which artificial intelligence seeks to understand and manipulate our deepest impulses. The works were developed with an algorithm that wires a work of art for success. Through a set of parameters, the piece's visual content is optimised for an art vet. In the artist's words, this series is based on a neural network that has been trained on all of my previous works to outsource the process of making new work to an artificial, semi-intelligent program that thinks like me. Thank you very much.